The Ironheart trailer disaster continues to actually put Marvel Studios and the Walt Disney Company in a very complex position. We already know that Disney, coming out of 2024 with the Acolyte series last summer, was devastating to both Star Wars and Lucasfilm, and now we have pretty much the Marvel version of that coming out on, of course, the later portion of June. We know that Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige, Bob Iger, the Disney executives, they are all preparing to really see what happens with this upcoming ratings disaster. Now, we already know that the trailer was an epic failure. When you look at the overall ratio, we're talking about this thing getting ratioed across all forms of social media and for valid reasons out there. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So, Ironheart, this is something that nobody asked for, and when you have a lot of people debating about why this series was made, common things out there are, well, it's in the comics. Well, this thing was not established until just recently, back in 2016. This was all a Disney creation at heart, no pun intended. And we already know that this is already beginning to implode for Bob Iger. Now, we already know that Bob Iger is on the damage control train. He is trying to fix this entire mess. And when you look at Ironheart, I mean, this thing was on the shelf for like, what, 2.5 years? And the marketing campaign was practically non-existent until just recently. However, this is where things begin to get really interesting based on Bob Iger and his recent behavior, not just toward Marvel fans, but also toward Disney customers, Disney shareholders, etc., and how he is desperately trying to fire back. Now, with the Walt Disney Company now dealing with the viral backlash centered around the Ironheart trailer, already Disney CEO Bob Iger is going into serious damage control and going against the fans and critics to water down the pushback. This all comes in the midst of the Ironheart trailer getting ratioed across all forms of social media. Now, Bob Iger delivered the following in a desperate move to save Ironheart. We here at the Disney Company take diversity, equity, and inclusion very seriously, and we value this especially in our upcoming Marvel series Ironheart, which we are sure will resonate with all Marvel fans that come from different backgrounds. Our focus was to gravitate toward a wider global audience by introducing our latest character, Riri Williams. What we here at the Disney Company do not tolerate at all are any claims and accusations that the Disney Company is inserting any form of an agenda or embracing a culture war. We stand by our move at Marvel Studios to focus on Riri Williams as the successor to Tony Stark and Iron Man, and we couldn't be more thrilled to share this with everyone. There are a lot of false narratives that have been going around that we urge everyone to pay no attention to. Our series Ironheart is about strengthening Marvel characters that deserve the spotlight. We deny any claims that we have been keeping this series under wraps out of fear of negativity and or unsuccessful ratings. We simply took this proper time to turn this into the perfect series that we know of today, about the successor to Tony Stark and Iron Man that we hope all Marvel fans will accept. The inflammatory comments and opinions need to be kept at bay. Whenever a series touches on diversity, it is not only troublesome for the Disney image, but it is also irresponsible and unnecessary coming from our customers. We ask all of our customers to let our product speak for itself, as Ironheart is set to steer the Marvel Universe in a different direction for our Disney Plus platform. Now guys, let me just say one thing about Bob Iger here. Sure, Ironheart is definitely going to steer the Disney Plus platform in a very different direction, a very bad direction at that. This is exactly why they've been dialing back on a lot of Star Wars, Marvel TV shows, etc., because the demand, it's just not there. In fact, they're losing subscribers, they're losing a lot of support for their streaming platform. Disney's not in a very good place right now, and yeah, sure, they've had some hits here and there. I'm sure Lilo and Stitch is going to do very well at the box office, but look, when you look at things like this, when you look at Marvel, when you look at Star Wars, when even you look at some of the live-action remakes like Snow White, things have not been going well in their favor at all for the past 3.5 years, especially when you look at all the specifics, right? And they really started to hit rock bottom, I would say, right around the later portion of 2023 when the Marvels came out. And I do heavily believe that Ironheart is basically, yes, going to be the Marvel version of the Acolyte, alright? And this has a lot to do with the acting, the producing, the writing. the way the marketing campaign is going right now, it is truly reminding me exactly what happened last year. And how ironic, right? That this thing is dropping right around the same exact time that The Acolyte did back in June of 2024. So, interestingly enough, we know that Disney CEO Bob Iger, he is getting very desperate because he obviously wants to create a kind of legacy for himself before he steps down in 2026. That's the overall game plan right now. That's the end game, to kind of depart from Disney by next year. However, this is where it gets even worse. We are closing this phase from moving into the next one in a spectacular way. As CEO, it is my responsibility to remain open and direct to our customers and shareholders, but we do not accept any form of criticism toward characters and actors that come from a place that honors diversity, equity, and inclusion. Kevin worked a very dedicated time and greatly to our latest product, Ironheart, a series that truly honors diversity at its finest. And that's what it's all about. To those that are opposed to that, this is the exact struggle that we hope to diminish as soon as possible by doing what we do best for our customers. And again, there goes Bob Iger again, really just doubling down on diversity. And if you are opposed to that, well then you are a this, and that, right? That's Bob Iger, that's typical Disney. And he did that in a very indirect way. We all know what he's trying to get at. But what's interesting about this, yet again, is the fact that they have been keeping this thing on the shelf for like 2, maybe 3 years maximum. It was really more like 3 years, let's be very real. And to hear him say that we have not been keeping this thing on the shelf, we have not been, in hiding over this series, is truly pathetic, because that's exactly what Disney has been doing. That's what they have been up to for the past at least 8 to 9 months. Alright, they had a trailer all set and ready to go. They absolutely refused to drop this thing nearly 6 months ago, when they should have, at the very minimum. And just now, a little over 1 month from release, they are dropping the first Ironheart trailer, and it is getting ratioed into oblivion. Now, he goes on to close, many keep using the word woke or agenda, when in reality they don't even know what that means. We are here to tell a story, a Marvel story, that will move the needle for our core customers. There was never a moment in my mind where I was concerned about the series, both in the short-term and the long-term effects on Marvel. Again, they're really trying to prop up the show like no tomorrow. They are really trying to make it like it's the best thing in the world. Kind of like what they did with the Marvels. Do you guys remember what Bob Iger did there? Saying how it was going to be a global success, that it was going to be the best Marvel series in a very long time. And boy, were they wrong. Alright, they were very, very wrong on that one, and they're doing it again with Ironheart. Again, this is why I like to call him Bob Iger. He does nothing but lie to the customers, to the shareholders, to potential new Marvel fans, and he will never stop until he is out of Disney, let me tell you. So again, this Marvel series that was based on a comic that only came out in 2016, it's going to be an utter failure. It's going to be just as bad as the Acolyte series, and we all know it, because of the acting, because of the overall lackluster effects on this actual series. But overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.